Hi everybody, my name is Justin Stoney and I'm the founder of New York Vocal Coaching here in New York City. Welcome to episode 73 of Voice Lessons to the World, the show where we want to help you guys as singers by answering your questions from all over the world, and I'll give you a chance to ask questions later. But our question for this week comes from Randy J. in Seattle, Washington, and Randy writes, "Dear Justin, I'm 57 years old and I've always wanted to sing. Am I too old to sing?" Randy, thank you so much for that great question, because I hear this question from singers actually of all ages all the time. Justin, am I too old to sing? And the short answer is no. No, you are most certainly not too old to sing. Sorry. Now, that's my short answer. No. My long answer is, here we go. We'll start by looking at this question. Am I too old to sing? And while that's a question that we can really relate to, and we can all really understand and appreciate, we have to question the question. Singing? That's something that's a part of our human spirit, a part of our human experience. That's why you have it at weddings, celebrations, parties, funerals, graduations. It's integrated into our human life. It's something that we really need to do. And so if we're asking the question, am I too old to be a pop superstar legend? Well, maybe lots of us are. But am I too old to make a joyful noise? Well, that's a different question altogether. Now, sometimes people say, Justin, I don't know if I need to sing. Maybe that's good for other people, but I personally don't really have singing as a part of my life at all. Well, to those who say that, I'm on to you. So I'm out late one night for a tall, cold, frosty glass of warm milk. And I like to stay out really late in New York City. And I like to sit in the corner with my books, and I like to look at pictures of cricothyroid muscles and epithelial layers and all kinds of vocal nerdery. So I go up to the bartender and I order another tall, cold, frosty glass of warm milk. And the bartender says to me, "What are you doing sitting in the corner with all of those books?" And I said, "Well, I'm a voice teacher, and I like to take my game to the next level." He said, voice teacher, vocal coach, cool. I said, "Are you a singer?" He said, "Oh, no. No, I'm not a singer. Oh, no, I never sing. I don't care for singing." I said, "Okay, that's great." So I take my tall, cold, frosty glass of warm milk and I get back to my studies. A couple hours later, the bar starts to clear out. There's nobody left in the bar except for me, my tall, cold, frosty glass of warm milk, and my studies. There's a song playing on the radio. And sure enough, across the bar, I see the bartender. He's singing along to the song. I said, "Sir, what are you doing?" He said, "Well, I guess I'm singing." And that's my point. People who say, "Oh, I don't need to sing, I can't sing, please don't make me sing," a lot of times have a private vocal life because singing is a part of our human experience. So next, let's look at how old is too old. Here's a fun fact for you. In my teaching career, I've worked with thousands of singers, but I've never had a singer over the age of 12 who didn't say, "I feel so old." And it's funny, you meet like a 10-year-old and they say, "I'm a kid." 11, "I'm a kid." 12, "I'm a kid." 13, "I feel so old." 15, "I feel so old." 17, "I feel so old." 20, old. 25, old. 30, old. 35, 40, 45, 50. Actually, by the time you get to be about 50, people start saying, "I feel younger than I ever have before." But the point is, if everybody gets to say, "I feel so old," then nobody is old. If a 13-year-old and a 40-year-old can both say, "I feel so old," age doesn't matter. Age is very relative. It's all in the mind, and you can overcome age as a singer. Here's some more facts for you. My original mentor as a singer was a Metropolitan Opera singer. He didn't even start singing until he was 27. That's way later than most opera singers start, and he made it to the highest opera in the world. Another fact for you, my oldest voice student, 88. And I'm so proud of the work that she's done, making discoveries, making growth at 88 years old. I also know a voice teacher here in New York City who's 95, and her soprano top sounds crystal clear, bell-like, silvery, beautiful. She's 95. Age does not need to be a limitation for us, especially if we can stop saying, "I feel so old." So why? Why can we overcome age? Really, the truth is because the voice is muscular. This is actually the very reason why we can train our voice to begin with, that it's muscular. Why we don't have to believe that myth that you have to be born with singing ability. No, we train these muscles. And the good news as we age is that they're not like bench press muscles or run a marathon kind of muscles. No, they're coordination muscles, almost like hitting a pool shot instead of throwing a shot put. So these little coordination muscles can really be trained at just about any age. Now that's good news, because you might say, well, I don't have a six-pack, but you ought to see my lateral cricoarytenoids. Or you might say, these love handles ain't pretty, but you ought to see what they do for my breath support. Or you might say, stuff may be sagging a little bit, but my pitch ain't sagging because of my cricothyroid. Thank you. So now, come on, Justin, get serious here. I mean, aren't there actually negative things that happen to the voice over time? Well, yes, there are. There are, of course, some deleterious effects for the voice as we age. Our physical strength does diminish, and that's going to lead to a little less vocal strength. Same thing with our flexibility. We have less flexibility as we age, and so our vocal flexibility will be no different. The larynx does descend over time, which can sometimes lead to a huskier sound. Sometimes people push too much and it causes a vocal wobble in the vibrato. Also, your cardiovascular system and your lung capacity will decrease. This can lead to less stamina and less breath support overall. So those are some things that you can watch out for as you age. However, does that mean to not sing? No way. In fact, it means just the opposite. It means we need to focus more on our vocal technique over time. How does that 95-year-old voice teacher that I know sing so great? She's been a woman of vocal technique for decades. So her great vocal technique has helped her to keep most of what she's had for her entire life. So that's always the solution, is really focusing on the stuff that we talk about in these lessons, great vocal technique. So now, how do you know if you're aging well? If you'd like to know if you're aging well, here are some signs. Your eyes sparkle. Your curiosity for learning is getting greater and greater. You've realized that even though your body's getting older, your spirit is getting younger. You find yourself laughing more and more, sometimes for no reason at all. Your gratitude levels are through the roof high. You've become so forgetful that sometimes you forget to even have an ego. And finally, my favorite, you're singing. Because I can promise you, if you're singing, you're going to age very, very well. And sometimes all we need in life is a yes. And so if age has become yet another no in your life, don't let it be. Today, I am saying yes. And so Randy and all singers of all ages, do me a favor. Make a joyful noise. I hope that's been helpful for you guys today as singers. If you've got questions that you'd like to see us answer on the show, you can send an email to questions@voicelessonstotheworld.com. And I just encourage you, don't lose that joy. Don't lose that passion. Don't let people tell you you're too old to sing, because now we really know that's just not true. Get with a great voice teacher in your area. Or if you guys are in the New York City area or you'd like to Skype with one of our staff, you can visit us at www.newyorkvocalcoaching.com. I also encourage you to download our free app for iPad, iPhone, hopefully more in the future. A lot of great resources, tips, articles, videos, things to help you to grow as singers at really any age. Or you can visit www.voicelessonstotheworld.com. I'm Justin Stoney. Until next time, keep making a joyful noise.